Hi. For those of you online, we'll be starting in just like 5 minutes here. Thanks. Testing now. Can you hear me now? I don't know which is the right input. Oh, yay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Glad. Okay. Got that fixed up. Okay. So yes, this is a website and landing page class. So I'll be talking about how some things that you can add to your website to make that more of a resource for your clients. And then also be talking about a few landing pages that you can create, which landing pages are primarily for capturing leads. So two sides of that, and I'll be going over each of them. Just a couple things to start off with. For one, if you ever need to make an appointment with any of your technology or marketing needs, you can always schedule a 30-minute appointment with us by going to kwbresources.com and clicking I need tech help in the top right. And that will bring you to our Calendly so you can book an appointment with us. But actually, I put some notes on our website for today's class. So if you could go to JuLeahDesigns.com, that's designs with an S. Today's notes are going to be under the tech corner on our page and under tech class schedule. So we did just release a new tech schedule for the upcoming week. So this is a spot you can check that out. We're also emailing this out. But if you scroll all the way down, so again, this is at JuLeahDesigns.com under Tech Corner and Tech Class Schedule. And if you scroll to the very bottom here and click on the 816 website and landing page notes, that should bring you to the Google Doc that we'll be working with. Yes. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'll be like jumping back and forth between this class notes page and command. Command, you can sign in at agent.kw.com with your KW credentials. And that's where I'm all signed in at. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check on our settings and our marketing profile, which pulls almost all the information from the homepage, from marketing profile to the homepage. So again, signed in at agent.kw.com. I'm going to go up to my name in the top right corner and go down to settings. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to click Connect Settings and Marketing Profile. So really important section here that's under our name, top right, Settings, Connect Settings on the left-hand side, and Marketing Profile. And I'm just going to open up my website real fast just so I can show you where exactly all this information is pulling to. So under your marketing profile, it's pretty straightforward. It's asking for your information. But what's so important about this section here is this is where all your information for all your marketing material and command pulls from. So this should be set up for you. When you onboarded, it was a basic setup, but it's always good to check this section here to make sure everything's displaying exactly how you'd like, everything's up to date. And anytime that you change any information, whether you get a new phone number or an email, this is the section you'll want to come to update this in command. Now I'm going to break this down a bit more in depth than I usually do. So starting with the headshot. So in general, you'll want to make sure that your headshot is in a perfect square, or else it will distort it throughout marketing material and command. So making sure that is cropped to a perfect square and uploaded here. That will help out. For the team logo, so it is not required. So if you don't have one there, no worries. But the team logo does not have to be a perfect square. So it can be in any shape or form, and command will auto adjust that size for you on all marketing material. So headshot, perfect square, team logo, doesn't matter.
Question.
Yeah.
Can we ask questions?
Absolutely. Shoot all questions at me.
right? I'm on a team.
Okay,
So would I do all this under my own account or team account?
that's a great question. So it's a little bit, it depends on how the team's set up. So a lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll have the rainmaker of the team have their website set up for the, like, branded as the team with the team information on it. So if that's the case, then usually the team members will use just like the rainmaker's URL and market that website and not their own. But each KW agent does get a website for free. So you can have your own website, but probably because you're on the team, you're going to market your rainmaker's
So I
website.
need to do all the website work for the link. Need to sign up for their account.
Yeah, basically. And a lot of these items, and I'll point out the items, a lot of the items today that we'll be going over can be done by Scott Leroy Marketing. I don't know if you're familiar with them. So yeah, a lot of things that they can actually do for you. But I'm going to kind of walk through how to go about those things just for other tips as you're working on the website that they'll be helpful for. So next is your details. So pretty straightforward. Again, this is your first and last name, your agent license number, and your team name. So team name is not required, but I do want to show you where that displays on the website. So jumping to my website, that team name is going to display as your menu item here that they can click and see your pages. So if you don't have anything in the team spot, it's going to default as your agent. But a lot of times we'll just see agents put like Keller Williams Valentine for this if they don't have a team name. I get this question a lot, like, why wouldn't I just make the team name like menu or something like that? It's more obvious that this is a menu since you have to click it to see all the pages. The only downfall to that is that your team name also displays right underneath your name in that section. So if you put menu there, it's also going to put menu right underneath your name on the homepage. It's just something to look out for about that. And then also just your other information. So your headshot, you'll see displays here. Your team logo will display like a little circle next to your headshot as well as in the top left corner of your website. I get the question a lot, how do I make the team logo larger? Unfortunately, there's not really a way. The only suggestion I can give you is to crop that as close to the image illustration as you can. That does make it appear larger. So cropping it as close to the illustration without as much white space will make that appear larger on the site. Now, jumping back to the marketing profile, we've got your job title. And then we also have slogans. So this is required very recently. This is new, but it does not display anywhere at this time. They are working on making the slogan display on kw.com. So the internal site for Keller Williams for clients to search for agents. But at this time, it just doesn't display anywhere yet, but it is required. So if you do have to fill this in order to save this section, feel free to put anything at all because it's not going to display to your clients. Same thing with military affiliation. So this is newer as well. They are working on getting this to display on kw.com, but as of right now, it's not displaying quite yet. So this is a newer feature, so they're just working on getting that to display on kw.com. But you can select from the military affiliation that you are and select that here, and then eventually that will display. Next is your bio. So this is where you can input your bio, pretty straightforward, as well as your additional contact information. So you have mobile and office phone. For PBs, for provisional brokers, you do have to display the office phone wherever your mobile phone is displaying. So you do want to include the market center phone number here if you're a PB. If not, feel free to put your own phone number, especially if you want those to come to you. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Put his in.
Take all content. There are. team-
Yeah, sure. Oh, no, you're totally good.
This be a team bio or a rainmaker bio, or is there a place, where's this actually? Should
So this displays on a few things throughout command. So there's like a landing page widget that it pulls from. And then when you're setting up your site, this is where it pulls from. So there's an about me page on the website. And so typically with the team, what we see is that there's like a meet the team page. And then there's a separate about me page for like the rainmaker or something like that. So there's actually a widget like for meet the team, and I can like touch on that when we get there too. But typically, sorry to answer the question, typically it's going to be your personal bio. So email, website, just one thing for the website. So I'll show you exactly where you can see your command website URL, but two things in general. One, this is not my command website. This is my custom website URL. If I jump over here, this is my command website URL up at top. So two things with this URL. One, it cannot have www dot in front of it. Does not work with that in front of it. So it's just starting with that URL, julesbass.kw.com. So don't forget that .kw.com at the end when you're putting that on print marketing.
There's links to your personal page, the custom page.
Yeah.
So I can put our custom page there with the www.
Yes. So yeah, your custom domain you can put there with the www. So that will allow, so at kw.com and then click website, that's the website it's pushing them to. Next is the market center brokerage information. So again, pretty straightforward. Got the name and all this information to jump back over on the website will display at the very bottom of your page here. That's where that's pulling from or to. Next, we have compliance, and I did include, so on the website class notes from the website, I did go ahead and include all the advertising compliance guidelines here, hyperlinked. So it is a Google Doc that you can check out for all marketing materials. So it's broken down by which marketing material that you are working on, and it includes all the compliance for that. So it's a really good resource to have. But just in general for the website, the only thing that's required is the company logo in the top right corner. Command auto defaults with it on the upper left. And there's no way to change it. So, so all compliance are met in regards to the command websites. There's nothing to worry about there. So skip and pass compliance. You do have the options for some social media URLs. So this is asking for a full URL. So including the facebook.com/your handle. This does not connect up your Facebook account to command. What it does, it just allows customers or clients on your website to be able to click. So for example, on the live site, from the menu, I can click Facebook at the bottom here, and it will bring to our Facebook page. And then also at the very bottom of the page, that is hyperlinked as well. Yeah, I don't know how to, I didn't realize that wasn't on. And then the very last thing in this marketing profile is the Google Analytics ID. So this is something that Scott Leroy Marketing will set up for you for free. So if you email support@scottleroymarketing.com with your command login and your Gmail login, they will set up Google Analytics, which what that does, it tracks your website traffic. So So you can see how many users are using it, how much time they're spending on it, things like that. Again, Scott Leroy will set it up for you for free, but I also included on the website class notes the setup form that you can complete to send that to Scott Leroy. So on that website class notes, I'll actually include the password here. Oh, actually, the password will just be our market center number, which is 350. And then it will ask all the information needed for them to set up your Google Analytics for you. And then also on the website class notes, I did include some of my favorite keyboard shortcuts. So today we'll be using a few of those. I like to use them a lot. So if you are a non-Mac user, it's going to be Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste, Control-A for select all, and my favorite, Control-Z for undo. Use that way more than I should. If you are a Mac, you'll just replace the control with command. All right, so let's get started with looking at the website, and let's look at some pages. So when you're editing your website, you're going to be primarily in the consumer section. So if you're still getting used to these applets on the left-hand side, you can click this KW in the top left to expand those out. And we're going to be going to the consumer section today. So when you first go to the consumer section, right here, this is where I personally like to grab my website URL. So you can always click on this URL here to open up your website to see that live right away. Jumping back to command, it will default that you're going to see all your website pages first. So not your landing pages, your website pages on your command website. Now, does everyone see these three here, the About Us, Contact Us, and About Me pages on yours? Two of them, okay. Okay, so yeah, usually when you're onboarding, these are the basic ones that are set up for you. If you do not have all the pages, what you can do is you can either contact support@scottleroymarketing.com and they will do that for you. Or just a heads up, you can go up to site and app settings in the top right. And if you go to learn more with Kelly guide, an agent site, and continue, it will walk you through like a very basic walkthrough of setting up those three pages. But again, Scott Leroy will do that for you. So I recommend just reaching out to them if you don't have them. But moving back to the agent site pages, so your website pages, we're going to add a few pages today. And these pages, Scott Leroy will set up for you, but I think they're really great to like learn the process of them because it can help you in other aspects of your website. So just starting with a mortgage calculator. So in your class website notes, you'll have this crazy looking coding, and that's what we'll be adding in. But the importance of this coding is to point out that the command websites take iframe coding, which sounds intimidating, but actually a lot of websites will have iframe coding available for widgets. So YouTube, like a lot of like those certification icons that you get will have iframe coding available so that you can put on your website as well. So I just wanted to point out that the command website does take iframe coding. So if you ever do come across iframe, just be aware that you can add it to your website, which is really cool. And I'll show you how to do that. So in command, to add a new page, we're going to go up to create new page in the top right corner. And for this, we're going to do it on my agent site, creating a subpage on your command website and create page. Now, the first thing I do when creating a new page is going up to the top left here to give this a name. So I know what page I'm working on. And then it's actually not as scary as you may think with this coding. So for one, all website pages do need to have a widget included in order to publish. So we always like to just use the download my app widget as like a default widget on the bottom of these pages. So what you can do is just click and drag that over. And you'll see that green line will show you where that will drop. And once I release my mouse, that will display. And then the next item that we'll want to use is going to be under content blocks here near the bottom right of the page. We're going to click content blocks and we're going to use the text box. So very similar to the widget, we're going to click and drag that over. And I'm going to put it above my widget so that where that green line's displaying. And once I release my mouse, that text box will appear. So from here, all we need to do is from those website class notes is we're going to copy this code. So I'm going to highlight it and I'll do Control-C to copy. And then you can remove what's in here. I like to just do Control-A to select all and then Control-V to paste in my code. Now, when I click configure widgets, my mortgage calculator will appear. So again, you do need to click configure widgets in the bottom right always before you save your page. So usually the steps are add in that widget and then click configure widgets on the bottom right. Now for download my app, you'll see that check mark already appears, which lets you know it's already configured, but you can always click on it to make sure, I don't know, everything displays good. The great thing is that you can't even change your your app URL. That's auto pulling. So that will pull your branded app. Now, when I save and apply and go up to save changes on the top right, I can publish this page. So it's asking would I like to publish this page right now. If I click yes, that's going to bring me right to make this page live. Any questions so far? So from here, like just because we created that page, it doesn't make it live to contacts on your website yet. You have to make that live with an extra step. Yeah. So what we do to make a page live on your website anytime is we're going to go to add page here in near the left-hand side. We're going to click that page we just created. So that's why it's good to have that titled. So now I know that this is my mortgage calculator and continue. And then we just need to fill in a few of the information. So the page title, this is going to be what the page will display as on your menu. We have the URL slug. So you'll see this is what displays on your URL. So this page will be specifically julesbass.kw.com/mortgage calculator. And typically I like to make the URL slug the same thing as the title or something very similar. And then the SEO description. So this is when you're on Google and you search something up and you know how there's like a description right underneath the clickable title of describing what the page says. This is what the SEO description is. So once you like how that looks, you can click save. And now this is a live site on your website or live page on your website. And what you can also do here is you can reorder your menu items. So if I want that to display a little higher on this menu, I can click those 6 dots to the left of the page name and drag that up to where I'd like that. So now if we were to go to my website and refresh, I could see that now mortgage out calculator has been added. And when I click on it, I can actually go ahead and calculate this on the website. So this is a really great tool, I think, to make your website more of a resource to your clients. All right. Jumping back to command, we're going to add in another page. One of my other favorites is the local school search. Which I think it's great to allow clients to search for schools on your website. So on your website class notes, and if you're just joining us, I have website class notes on our website. So at JuLeahDesigns.com, and I can show you where to find those. And I'll give you a second. It's no rush. So on the website class notes, you'll see that it's hyperlinked to greatschools.org/widget. If you click on that, that will bring you to this page. And very similarly to kind of the mortgage calculator coding, we're just going to put in some information. It's going to give us an iframe code, and then we can add that to our website. So we can put in the zip code. Usually put in the market center zip code. We can leave the size as is, so width and height. We can put in your email, so that way you can get notified when people are searching for homes or schools. We put in our website URL. So again, without the www, and don't forget the .kw.com at the end. And agree. And once you fill all this information out, we can just click Get Widget Code. And there's our iframe coding we need. So now let's hop back over to command. And let's just go click on consumer to bring us back to seeing our agent site pages. From here, very similar steps as before. This is always what you'll do if you're creating a new page. We're going to go up to create new page in the top right and on my agent site and create page. Let's give it a name. And for this one, I'm going to use an agent profile widget just to show you like some different options of these widgets. So what we're going to do is click and drag this widget over to apply it to our page. So agent profile, we're going to click and drag and drop. Now you'll see that your information is pulling. This is all pulling from that marketing profile section. But we can manipulate this page, this widget, however we see fit. So like for the local school search, for example, I'll show you how you can make it for that. So what we're going to do is go to configure widget in the bottom right and click on the widget name to start editing it. So you can, of course, replace the headshot maybe with like a logo or something else for local school search. That's what I usually do. I don't have one. But then you can change the page title. Local school search. Right underneath it, so you'll see my designation is displaying, but I want this to say search for homes in your area. I don't want it to display this about Jules here, so I'm just going to delete it and put a space because it is required. And then for the agent bio, so this big section, that's where I'm going to put my widget code that we have here. So I'm going to jump back over to that widget coding, select it all, copy it. And then one extra step here, and I did put it on the class notes, but we're gonna need to put center in those little brackets so that it's not offset. And then we can paste in that code. So once we do all that and click save and apply, you'll see that that will display. So now clients can search for schools on the map, via school, or by search on your website. But again, very similar steps to mortgage calculator, where this page is not live quite yet. We have to add it to our menu for it to be live on our site. So we're going to go up to save changes and click yes to bring us right to the section to add in this page. So sorry, that was fast. I click add page in the bottom left. Click that page that we're working on, continue, and then fill out this information. Click save. And then again, you can always reorder your menu, drag that higher with those 6 dots, and that will appear on your website. And so for, those of you just joining, I do have some website class notes that has a few resources on here. So if you go to our website, JuLeahDesigns.com with an S, you're going to find it under Tech Corner and Tech Class Schedule. So Tech Corner, Tech Class Schedule, and then at the very bottom, that's hyperlinked for the website and landing page notes. So yeah, it's under, it's at JuLeahDesigns.com. Basically that.
Go to your mortgage calculator.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mine's going straight down, but you do it side by side.
Oh, like this?
Yeah, mine's left.
Oh.
Right.
Is it like the size of the post? Oh,
Here's where I updated it.
you know, let's see, if you publish, yeah, try publishing a page. That might be a good one. Now, if you click on the eyeball. Maybe you just refresh.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. I tend to have a magic touch. I think in certain places.
you stand behind me all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there.
Oh, well, good. Thanks. Any questions before moving forward, or is everyone in the good spot? I can kind of tell you where we are if it's helpful. So I do have the website class notes pulled up, and then I am in command in the consumer section. Says, not an active start page. Let's see. So for your not active subpage, sorry, I'm just seeing the chat. If you go to site and app settings in the top right and do agent site pages, this is where you can make your pages live. But also if you want to just shoot me your login for command, I can take a look as well. I'd be happy to. All right. Let's see. Okay, next I'm going to show you how you can add a testimonials page to your site, and then how you can go about like actually adding. I'm going to show you how to add a testimonial capture form, and then how to add testimonials to your actual site. So same kind of deal. We're going to go up to create new page in the top right, and on my agent site. And let's give it a name. So I'm going to name it testimonials. I think I already have a testimonial, so do one. And I like to just put both my testimonials and testimonial capture form on the same page. You can always have like a leave a review page and then a separate page for your testimonials. Totally up to you. Either way, it's going to be a widget, so it makes your life a little easier. So what I usually do is put the testimonial capture form first. So click and drag this widget over. And then I put the testimonial list on top of that. So I can click and drag this widget with the green line on top of it to drag it and place it on top. Release. So these are grayed out because they're not configured quite yet. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go down to configure widgets in the bottom right. And I just like to go down this list usually. So I'm just going to start with the first one and click on it to start editing. So first we can give that a headline. So I like to just do testimonials. And you can even give it some intro text. So that. So you can also choose what client details actually display here. So you can choose first, last name, or last initial, city, client sense, or neighborhood. So you can uncheck if you don't want certain items to display. And then where your testimonials will actually display is under this browse testimonials. And if you don't see this browse testimonials, you may have to zoom out on your screen. I'm not sure if this is still a glitch, but I remember it was at one point. So if you don't see browse testimonials, just zoom out and click. And if you do have any testimonials from your site, this is where they display and where you can select that from. And I'll show you that as well in just a bit when we submit one. So that's all configured now. You'll see it's not gray anymore. So I can actually just click the arrow in the top right to move along to the next widget to configure. Next, we're going to fill out or configure our testimonial capture form widget. So first it's asking for your team name or your name. So, but if you're not on a team, you can just put your name. And the headline, so this is where you can say like leave a testimonial or submit a testimonial or leave a review. Okay. You can definitely update the description, review headline, or review placeholder. I typically don't, I could default, yeah.
I know we do agent page, it goes on agent site or as a landing page.
On agent site.
Okay.
We'll do landing pages with that.
Okay. So I can basically just, so I copy of the.
So these are widgets, I'll show you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then AH. And then design. Yeah, that's good. here are, and then, and every time. Yeah, these are all notes, so you can always run this later too, these are like videos and you can send them to anything. But yeah, feel free to open Shannon if you want, and, yeah, but we'll just follow along too, because a lot of these things, Scott will learn marketing. So this is more like, Scott can learn. Okay, yeah, for this, we are doing a testimonial. So I added in the, scroll down a little bit on. Maybe the Zoom now. It's just like.
Now?
Out. Okay, I think probably. And then try widget again. Yeah, that's, okay, so click and drag that on. To kind of that one, so that's gonna be your capture form, capture testimonials. And then this one right there, you can click and drag that on top. And so this will allow them to display. So if you go configure widgets, that's where we are. And then you can click on like the first widget to start configuring. So it's gonna headline, you can put testimonials. And like for intro text, I put like, see what client.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? As we're going through? And once you're done configuring that widget, you'll need to click save and apply at the bottom.
Okay.
And then you can click the arrow in the top right to move along to the next widget.
Okay. Where we are now?
Yes,
Okay.
that's where we are. And then it's gonna ask for team name. If you don't have a team, you can put your name.
Great.
And then headline, I put leave a review. You can put like submit a testimonial, whatever that may be. Yeah. So, yeah, go. And then we're at create new page, and I'll create a new we'll do a custom page too. Then- So like for the testimonial page, for example, feel free to. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Oh, well, you already, I can't. Yeah, it's like you can push and drag it over, but I don't know, I just don't get that one.
I'm sorry.
You know, I recommend, yeah, in Zoo, yeah, if you send them support, I get more money. They add on, they'll add. So they'll add.
Okay, go ahead and try it. Try it.
Okay. Good deal. So yeah, anytime that you're configuring a widget, whenever you're done changing the information on the right-hand side, just click save and apply in the bottom right to get that to populate on your page right away. So you'll see now that neither widget's grayed out, so this looks good to go. We can also see in our widgets that they both now have check marks, so they're both configured. So perfect, let's go ahead. Oh, wait, I didn't change. Great. Okay, well, that's not updated. Huh. That seems to be a glitch. If I so say myself. Yeah, great. Yeah, so it should have updated with save and apply. That seems to be a glitch right now. It is working? Oh, good. That's exciting. I didn't know you be able to do it. But usually headline text will display with headline, and team name would display under how would you rate your experience, and it would say with your team name.
Right.
That's usually how it looks. So if that looks good, we could go up to save changes in the top right and click yes. And then this same steps apply here as well. With add a page, we're going to click the page name we just created, click continue, and then fill out all the information here. So now if we hop to our live site, I have 2 testimonials. Let's see if this one works. Cool. You'll see that this page, this is how this page looks, and you'll see that that's where your team name will display, and then like your headline should update.
I got one problem.
Oh, down.
I have, I purchased my own domain, and I asked Scott Roy to put it, but it's not displaying. It's like, when I type it in, it's going. So he said something about a custom domain.
Yes, so your custom domain is working though. Like if you put in your custom domain, it goes to your command website.
Well, no, it won't go to my command website, but he said he put it on there, but it won't go to my command website. It's just like, I wanted to get, I did have it connected to it, but I didn't.
Huh.
I'm not here.
So your domain is through Wix?
No, he threw it, but I had a big website that I'm gonna build a website out. This is all
Right,
crazy.
right. I'll have to look into it. It might be your cache, so I'll check that first.
Right.
Do you mind sending me an email so I don't forget?
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm fine on that.
Yes.
Yeah, why? This is.
Can you send it to me? Send it back to me already?
Yeah, it seems to be glitching,
Okay.
because she has the same issue as well. Like your headline isn't updating either. Scroll up.
What's the time it was gonna
I don't know.
Okay.
There seemed like this was a page I created like,
Sure.
So I think-
Talk a lot.
yeah, I think there's something, sorry.
All right, no problem.
But yeah, once the testimonial capture form works correctly, this is how it should display. And this will display this way for your clients. So just a heads up, when clients submit a testimony on your site, unfortunately, it does not automatically display on your website. You do have to manually update it on your website for it to display. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to pretend I'm a client, and I'm just going to do test testimonial. Put in an address and a year that they were clients with, good old 2020. They put in some stars and they can leave the review here. Then they ask, would you recommend them? Yes, I would. And then they can preview the testimonial, see what that looks like, and submit it. So that's what it looks like on the client side. It will say, thank you, your information has been submitted. Now from your side, what you would do is come over to the consumer section. So the last icon on that left-hand toolbar. And we're gonna wanna edit the page that has your testimonial list widget. So you know how we added 2 widgets to that page? We added a form and then a list. So I can go ahead and just edit that page since I have both of them, but if you did choose to separate those widgets, you would edit the page with the list on it. And how you would edit any page on your agent website is going to the 3 dots to the far right of the website name or the page name and click edit. So hopefully this works even though this capture form is glitching. But what you do is go to configure widgets in the bottom right. And again, we're gonna want to reconfigure the list widget. And now when you go to browse testimonials, yay. Your testimonial that they just submitted will display, and you'll have to just check it to get it to be selected. Now, the website allows up to 12 testimonials to display on your site at a time. So if you can't check a box for some reason, it's grayed out, and maybe because you have 12 testimonials already displaying. But you can always, like, if you get more than 12, you can always choose which 12 to display here and click continue. You can choose what client details that you want to display. So maybe I don't want the client sense to display. And I can click save and apply. And that will display on your site. So again, this is a manual process that has to be done when agents or contacts submit a testimonial on your site. You do have to manually go at it. Let's see. Oh, if you have a testimonial and there's like a typo in it or something like that, and you need to edit them, not a way to just edit the testimonial. You would have to resubmit the testimonial as if you were the client, just correctly. That makes sense. So there's not a way to like edit them, and you can't reorder them either. So if it's in the order which you can submitted. So if they submitted first, they would display first. If you wanted to reorder them, you could resubmit all of them in the order that you wanted. But that tends to be confusing because then you have a ton of testimonials in the back end. Just some ideas. All right. It is 2 o'clock. I'll give like a 5-minute bathroom break, water break, and then we can start up again at like 2:05. That sounds good. But next we'll be doing custom pages and landing pages. Should be fun. Here's the widget. But you have to think about pages, and then click on that. And then you'll see these red stars are letting you know there's an entire field. So the headline, for example, you want that's like what's gonna be the like type. So you put testimonials, and then for intro text, I put see what my client.
Check on that.
John says it'll be, this week.
So these are details that you want to display. So if you want their class, and it should be that. So if you don't have anyone yet, it will just say there are no testimonials, current testimonials at this time. And then at that time, that's when it would look. First last thing, we should always log in. We have to have a picture. Yeah, you have to update it. Yeah, so once a contact submits it, you have to come back in here to reconfigure this widget again. And on the website, from that sheet of the notes, it has a video exactly on this. So if you need to reference it at a later time, Your PW password, you know your user.
Okay. I don't wanna reset it.
Oh, okay. Then,
There's not one that you can just click and show it to me.
not anymore. You used to in command, if it was saved to the computer, you could put the eyeball, but I'm pretty sure they took that away from. Oh, no, they didn't. If you put the eyeball.
Oh,
Is that
no,
yours?
no, I'm on my, that's what that's.
Oh.
So let's see here.
So like if you signed out, then it saves it.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, I would never do that one.
I'm doing a- Oh, shoot. But I'm filming on something. I don't want to set it. I'm sure. But none of it. Oh, yeah, I know it's not good.
I'm excited. Oh, no, password. Oh, it's in there.
Yeah, how do I email this? Do I take them off the list first?
Yeah, like you can make it so you can only do it.
Well, no, not right. So it's stay. Stay what I do. Stay close. Now I just want to email it. Should I just make him zero? Right now?
Yeah, you could X out. We're just gonna have like if we should only do that for you.
Okay. But I can always move it back.
Yeah, so this form is this where like has the interact form still, so that you can.
And then I can.
The sheet is like, wait, what sheets?
Well, I'm missing like,
Oh, okay,
but this is actually a real form that I'm doing for him.
okay,
She wants me to fill it all out and send it to her.
okay,
So what I'm gonna do is, I'll text him out, right?
yeah,
And then I'll send it to her. She'll tell me, okay, back to this. And add the message.
right, because this one will always. In your. Wait. Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to make sure, I mean, as long as you did.
Should I just, I wonder how you can email it. Right, whatever message. You see. That's specify a recipient.
Just want to make sure that because you, all your edits or you did it, you added all your edits. Like not.
This is a line. I don't know why I don't just look up first.
Are you here?
I'm going to also.
Okay, can I stop there? Because I'll call you. Like that. So I want to ask her for. Oh, the notes. So menu. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go to tech corner. And then go down tech class schedule. Yeah. And then all the way at the very bottom. Page. That's, if you click on this, that's the type
Oh.
Righty. It's about that time. Okay, let's see. Let's go to- Oops, sorry. Okay. Yeah, guess so. Okay, we're gonna keep moving along and we are going to start with some custom pages. So usually when you're adding agent site pages, it's a lot easier to use those widgets. They look good and they're like easier to use. But of course you can add some custom content to the site. It just becomes a little bit more finicky. It's just harder to work. So I'm just gonna give you a few tips on that. First off being how you can add a YouTube video to your website. It's a lot easier than you think. So thanks to iframe coding. So same steps in the sense that we're going to create a new page in the top right and on my agent site and create a page. I'll give it a name, just name it custom. And I always add a widget first since the page needs it in order to publish. So I'm going to use the download my app widget. That's the one we typically use. And then for this, under content blocks, we're going to use text and click and drag that on top of it. Now the code we need for the YouTube video, all you need to do is find the YouTube video you want to display. So I picked this virtual tour here. And all we do is go to share and embed. So you'll see that gives us the iframe coding we need so that we can easily add that in. And what's cool that you can even start it at a certain time in the video, which I think is pretty cool. So we can go ahead and select that all, copy that. And then when we go back to command to our text box, I'm going to go ahead and put in that center with the brackets and do Control V. Paste that in and click configure widgets in the bottom right to make sure they're configured. Now it won't display like the mortgage calculator did right away. We'll have to make it live in order to see it. But before we do that, just another example. If you have like if you want to make a just sold page or a real estate blog on your site that you want to add. You can try to add a text box in. So like on your website, very similar, you add in a widget and then you can add in that text box. to the page and start typing in there. But that actually, it's a lot harder than you think. It's very finicky. Like if you backspace, sometimes it'll just delete everything. Or if you just like move the mouse a certain way, like all the formatting will get all like jumbled up. So it's our recommendation to actually use a Google Doc to do all your custom content and then copy and paste that onto a page. So even with images, like you'll see that there's a content block for an image, but you can't center it if you use this content block for some reason. So if you are wanting to add like a custom image to your page, again, I would recommend putting that on a Google Doc and then adding it into a text box. And I'll show you that. So I'll just like kind of do like an example, like just sold. Oops. Down. And really make this exactly how you like it. Make the fonts different, make it center how you like it, make the colors different. A couple things to note with this, Command doesn't have access to all fonts. So just because you choose a font in your Google Doc doesn't mean it will copy and paste directly over. They have their own font library. So just a heads up, like if you see that your font's not looking exactly the same, that's why. So maybe just choose a different font that Command might have. So hopefully there's an image on this computer I can upload from. Oh, great. Leah made this one. So pretend it's a property. And then you can put like Main Street, right? Like the price, you know, whatever that may be, you can put all the information here. You know, if this is a blog, if you type out your blog, however you'd like that to look, you know. And then just make sure, I like to make sure everything's nice and centered. Okay, once you have like all your information on a Google Doc, it just makes it a ton easier to be able to select it all. So I do Control A or Command A on a Mac. So then I can copy, jump back to Command, select all, and paste. And then it will display exactly how you'd like format wise, it's going to be all centered and everything. Again, like with the image content block, there's not a way to center images on the agent site quite yet. So this is like a workaround for that for the time being. And then what you can also do, and I have these instructions, like these dimensions on the class notes, but to make sure that looks good also like on an iPad or an iPhone, we can adjust the margins so that we can make sure it's centered on every device. So to do that, we're going to want to have the text box selected, which it is because it's all in blue. And we can go over to the paintbrush icon near the top of the page and go to dimensions. From here, we want to adjust just 3 fields. The width can be 1000. That seems to fit iPhones as well. And then for the margins, we're just going to type in auto for right and auto for left. And that will center that on the screen for all devices. So that way, no matter what the screen size is, it's going to look good. And once we're all done with that, we can of course go up to save changes in the top right. And click yes to make this live on our site right away. Click add page, click the page we're working on, continue, and fill out the info. Now, when we refresh and go to that page, you'll see that our info is there from our Google Doc as well as that video that we can embed. So any questions on like custom pages? I know that it's It's not very straightforward and kind of a workaround method, but it seems to work from what we've done it. Oh, it looks like like you can sign in either PW email or Google Docs. So if you sign in Google with your PW email, you'll have access to the document. Yeah. I'm hoping that just. So you can add, you can either sign into this Gmail, account, or you can add an account. Yeah, you can use your KW email. All right. So just a couple tips with editing website pages before we talk about additional settings, or before we talk about landing pages. I do have this hyperlinked, so it's a video. If you ever have a question on editing pages, here's a video for your reference. But in the consumer section, we talked about before, if you want to edit a page, you're just going to click on the 3 dots to the far right of that and click edit. And then pretty much for all pages, unless it's that custom page that we just did, you're gonna want to click configure widgets in the bottom right to make any edits. So it will pretty much be the same steps for any page. It's gonna be those 3 dots to the far right, edit, and then configure widgets on the bottom right. Click on that widget name. So that's what it's doing here. And then that's where you can actually edit any of the information on here. So you can't just like start typing right on the screen. You'll have to click configure widgets in the bottom right, make those edits here, and then click save and apply to get that to save. But if you make any edits on a live site and click save and apply and publish page, yes, you won't have to do that extra step of like re-add or adding the page. Since it's already live, it's just gonna update that already published. Now, just a few more items on the agent site page. We're gonna go up to site and app settings in the top right. I just want to show you a couple more things. Let me pull up my website too. So under site and app settings, under general here, you'll see agent site hero text and hero agent site hero image. So this is what's displaying very big on your home page, right when you go to it. So this is the hero text, and then these scrolling images in the back are the hero images. Now you can have up to 5 hero images on your site. Then these are the default, but you can always find stock images that may look like the Charlotte area, or it may look luxury if you're in luxury. A couple stock image sites we use are Pixabay and Pexels.com, and I'll add those to that notes sheet, but we use Pexels. So that's PEXELS.com. And then we also have used Pixabay. So that's PIXABAY. Oh, they might be the same. I don't know. But these are great for stock images. So you can search, whatever that may be. If you want a luxury home, this will give you images that you can use and not have to worry about copyright or anything like that. So search for that, and then you can click download in the bottom right to get that to save to your computer. And now when we go back to command, you'll see that this is grayed out. It's because I already have 5 images here. So I'll just need to delete one in order to upload that to my site. And just don't forget to scroll all the way down and click Save Changes. And it may take 24 hours to take effect. Right underneath that is a very brand new setting. So if you have not checked this out, again, this is under Consumer and Site and App Settings, and it's property limits, so registration for that. So before, I think there was a 2 to 3 property limit, so clients could be on your website and search for like 2 or 3 properties before it prompts them that they have to register on your site. Well, now you can change these settings to however you see fit. So if you don't want any contacts to be able to view any properties on your site without getting their contact information first, you can click no property viewing so that they can't. I like the 2 properties. I like the idea of like letting them get their foot in the door, kind of search for ones they like, and then hopefully they see one they really like and are prompted to put in their contact information if they're more opt to do it. But just a heads up, you can update these settings, and it does only apply to your website, not your app. Next, so next to general here, you'll see that there are a few options. Next, next to under URLs, this is where you can update your command website URL if you'd like. The only limitation is that if another agent has already used it, then you're not going to be able to use it again. But you're free to change your subdomain however you see fit. And you'll also see your app URL here. So if you ever need to find it, you can find it here. You'll see it's grayed out, so it can't be changed. So you know this is exactly right. I'm going to skip over to theme. I'll finish with feature listings. So theme here. There's only 2 theme choices right now. Only 2 theme options right now. So there's a red theme and a dark theme. They're honestly very, very similar. They're not very different at all. You'll see like in the example, like the only thing that changes are those like accent items. I know KWRI is working on rolling out more templates, but for the time being, these are the options they have for design wise. We got agent site pages here. So this probably looks familiar. This is where we made all our pages live. But if you ever do need to make any edits for like the menu name or the slug, or need to rearrange that menu, this is where you'd come to do it. Lastly is featured listings here, center of the page. So if you have not activated featured listings yet, then you do have to activate it. And you only have to activate it one time and then it's good to go forever. But I'll walk you through how to activate it in case you haven't activated it yet. So what we're going to do is go to learn more with Kelly guides. Near the top right. And then we're going to go to consumer settings. So again, we're under the consumer section, under site and app settings, learn more with Kelly guide, and then consumer settings. Next, we're just going to click get started. And then scroll down a bit. It's hiding at the bottom here to click next. Then all we're going to do is click the arrow to the far right of featured listings. And this is going to look different for me because I've already activated it. So it's letting me know that I've already activated it. But if not, you'll see this toggle here is grayed. You'll just want to toggle it on if it's not toggled already. You will have to input a title. I just put featured listings. And you will also have to select a listing. So this button here to activate that. So it doesn't have to be your listing. you can just click any listing and then delete it, but you do have to like choose a listing in order to activate this on your site. But again, the good thing about this is once you go through these steps once, you'll never have to do it again. It's activated for all the future. So now, once it's activated, and we go back to this section, which again is consumer, site and app settings, and featured listings. For one, if you did select a listing that is not yours and you want to delete it, you can click this trash can item icon and click Save Changes. A few things to note on featured listings. So this does not automatically update either. So this is something that needs to be manually updated. So when you get a featured listing, it doesn't, or a listing, it doesn't automatically just display on your site. You would have to go to this section to add it in to display on your website. Also, it only at this time displays active residential listings. So if you add it in the back end here, but it's not displaying on your website, it could be because it's not active or residential, and that would be why it's not displaying. And you can only select up to 12 listings at a time. More than 12, just pick your best 12. But once you have a listing, if you come here under consumer and site and app settings and featured listings and click select listings, you'll see that it will show first only my listings. So if you're not seeing your listing here, no worries, just click the show and go to all listings. And search property address here. You can also search by MLS number, city, or zip code. If you don't have a listing, but you want to feature some listings on your site, compliance wise, you can add listings from anyone in the office. So even if you don't have your own, if you look by our office, you can display those, and that should be fine compliance wise.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's helpful because then we've
Yeah.
got a ton of listings.
Right.
So I'm just gonna go Charlotte, North Carolina, just pick one. This will do. And click done. And then once you select that, just click Save Changes to get that to display on your site. Now let's see if that updated. Sometimes it does take like 10 minutes, but let's see if it did it right away. Oh yeah. So you'll see now featured listings are displaying on the site. And again, you can have up to 12, so it can be full and they can like scroll on it. All right, any questions on the command website? We're gonna go to landing pages for the last part of class. So any questions on your command website?
You said feature listings have to be active.
Yeah, correct. So no pendings, yeah, just active residential at this time.
Anything in this office.
Yep.
Yeah. Few more than that.
Right.
All righty. So now we're gonna create a few landing pages, some of my favorite landing pages. Starting with the open house sign-in. So I think I've taught that before, but it's such a good one that I'm gonna teach it again. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. All right, so we're gonna be under the same consumer applet here. I'm just gonna click consumer again. Bring me. So when you first click on consumer, it's gonna show all your command website pages. To see your landing pages, you can click landing pages near the top of the page. And this will show you all your active landing pages. So I have quite a few. But let's go ahead and create a open house sign-in page. So what this would be used for would be when you have an open house and you have contacts and leads coming in and you want to be able to capture their lead information as they're coming in. This would be a great way to do it. And the perks about this is that it's electronic. You can connect it to a QR code and all their lead information goes right into command. So that's awesome.
Awesome. So when they come to open house, they can literally scan the QR code. and
Just
sign in.
sign right in.
Okay.
Yep. And I'll show you how to even create the QR code for this too. So let's go ahead and create a new page in the top right. But for this one, instead of on my agent site, we're going to do it as a landing page. As a landing page and create page. Let's give it a name. So I'm just going to do open house. And typically there are 3 widgets I like to include on. Yes, any questions? Oh, so this is an agent site. So if you go back. To create page again, you add it's just kind of create page. That's right. That's where we are. So there are 3 widgets I included for this open house sign-in. First off being the branded header to first display your information right off the bat. And you'll see that that information just automatically gets updated because it's all pulling from your marketing profile. Next, I add in a lead form. So click and drag that over.
Hold on. The first step, I completely, I don't know. Which one did you do?
Oh, no, no worries. It's a branded header.
Okay.
I did go very fast.
No, my brain was just. Branded header is first.
Branded header first, then we're gonna do lead form. So click and drag that right underneath it. So that green line is displaying right underneath it and drop it. And then I like to add in the listing widget just to give them some more information on the listing that they're attending. So I click, drag, but I want that right underneath it because I want their contact info. And drop it. So we got the branded header, the lead form, and the listing widget. Listing, yep. Looks like a little sign. You guys seeing it? Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I was freaking out. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's a finicky little scrolling. Even that was hard to scroll past.
I don't know what's going on today.
All right, so once we have our 3 templates or our widgets in, let's go down to configure widgets in the bottom right so that we can update these widgets. So I always like to just go 1 through, go down the list. So I'm going to start with branded header. So this information should all be good because it's pulling from my marketing profile, but always good to give it another glance over. And you can also optionally give it a header text. So if you wanted to say like, welcome to the open house, definitely could. And so that way, when we click save and apply at the bottom, that's going to display on our page right away. Welcome to the open house. And then we can click the next arrow and like near the top right just to move to the next widget. So we have interested, let's delete that and say, please enter your information below to sign in. When you click save and apply, that will display right there. And then again, we can click that next arrow to move to the next widget, which is going to be our listing widget. So here we can click browse listing to find that open house listing that we're doing. Click select once you find your listing. you'll be able to choose like this big image that displays. So the header image, you can choose that from the listing. So these are all the listing photos from the MLS. So I'll just choose the first one here. And when I click save and apply, all this information is filled in for me, right? So I have address, the beds, bathrooms, description, all the images from the MLS, the map. So this is great because not only do they get to sign in, well, they get also information about the open house that they're attending. So it's actually
Yeah.
valuable for them.
It's even better because while they're on the site, they can search from home.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's even better.
Yeah. So that's all the widgets I like to add. So I like to first display the contact information, a spot to put their contact information, and then information about the listing itself. So now we can go up to publish page in the top right. And it's just letting you know that this will become active right away. So there's not an extra step here. This will become a live site when we click yes, update it. But you'll see if you click back over to landing pages, here's the URL. So, I mean, although it's a live site, no one's going to actually go to it unless you share the URL with them because it's a pretty crazy URL. One tip here, you can at least though change the ending slug of it. So if you go over to the 3 dots to the far right of the landing page, you'll see change URL. And you can at least update this last information to be like something pertaining to the listing. Click create. So now when I click on this URL, it's going to bring me right to this page since it's hyperlinked. So I can see what that's going to look like. That looks great. So now what you can do is you can pull this up at an open house. Like if you have an iPad, you can pull this up on your iPad and just allow contacts to sign right in. And again, their contact information gets pushed right into your command database. But we also see agents create a QR code from this and just have a like framed QR code at their open house so that clients can just scan the QR code, enter it on their phone, and still capture that information. So to do that, I have this on the website class notes, the hyperlinked website I use for this. So the qrgenerator.com is what we use at Scott Leroy Marketing. And it's very straightforward. All you need is that URL that we just created. So copy that and paste it right where it says enter URL. And all you do from here is click download QR code, this icon here, right above the QR code, download QR code. And saving that as a PNG is perfect. And download. So perfect. Now you have a QR code for this page that you can have displaying at your open house. Oh, yeah, good. And then they can sign right in. So that's a great electronic way to do an open house sign in. Another very similar page that we see a lot are just landing listing pages in general. So if you don't have an open house, but you just have a listing, you can create a very similar page. And I'll go through it pretty fast because it's literally the same 3 widgets. But what's great about a landing listing page is that you can have a QR code or have the URL on like a sign writer. And then that replaces like the flyer box. They can just scan a QR code or go to a certain URL and they have all the listing information. Oops. So for the listing landing page, same widgets, I put in a branded header. I put in the listing widget. And I put in the lead form. And then just throwing this out there, there is a video widget. So at least it's not like the agent site page where you have to embed that. You do have an option for a video widget that you can more easily add a virtual tour to this. So for this example, if we configure this, we can have our information, we can have the listing information. Save and apply. Oh, that's nice. Go to the next one. Here's our video. So like 123 Main Street, give it a name. And then you see, you can just put in the video URL right here. So it's a lot easier than having to embed it. So we can just copy this URL and paste it here and then save and apply. So that gets, if you wanted to add a video to a landing page, then we have our lead form, of course, and then you could say something like contact me for a private showing. Save and apply. So there you go. And then that would have a bunch of information for them. So that way, again, you could this could kind of replace like a flyer box on a sign. For example, you could have, if you got a custom domain that was 123 Main Street, and you just put a sign writer that said 123mainstreet.com, and it took them right to this page. Well, then they wouldn't have to manually go up there and get a flyer for the information. They could see it right from their phone or website. That's kind of like the idea for that. But of course, for this too, what we do, we just like can post this link directly on Facebook and all on social media. And that is a great resource for clients to see the property details. It's pretty cool because it pulls all from the MLS and it has pretty much everything. All right, one more landing page here. This would be if you wanted to capture leads by saying you will perform a free CMA for them, or you know, what's my homework kind of deal. So to capture leads that way. So this would be as a landing page too. You can create this on your agent site page as well. Scott Leroy does do that, but this can also be used as a landing page since it's primarily for lead generation anyway. So what we're going to do is go up to create new page again, same steps as always, and as a landing page and create page. This one I'm going to name what's.
So for me, like I want to do something like Thank You Thursdays. So I want to do if I want to do where I can just give away like coffee mugs or Starbucks gift card or something to get my social media people to do this. So would this work for that?
This would be very ideal for this.
Okay.
Like contests and promotions, we always do on a landing page just because it captures it all to command.
Okay.
And yeah, you can edit that lead form, you know, to say anything to, like if I added this lead form in here and went to configure widgets and lead form, like we'll put like, please put your information below to win a free coffee mug or whatever that may be. Or there's even a leave a note section. So if you say like, please leave something you're thankful for a chance to win or something.
Okay, so how would I put that all in that get mine?
Yeah, you could put that here. This is kind of how I would do it. Maybe I would I always add a branded header and a lead cat form, just so information's always displaying there.
And where'd you go to make that pop out?
So configure widgets on the bottom right.
Oh, okay.
And then you can start with branded header.
Okay.
And what you can do is like for the header text, it's optional, but you could say like insert, yeah, Thankful Thursday. Perfect. And I'll do the what's my. And then under the class notes, I do have exactly what we put on these CMAs with the code, like the brackets included. So that you can just copy and paste that into this form header text. So it's right here. But you can, you know, for your example, put, please put your information below for your prize or whatever. And then once we click save and apply, So that would have that information. It prompts them to put in their information so you can perform that CMA. And that way you can share this. I know this is like a common thing that agents like to promote, like a great way for them to capture lead information, actually provide some value to the leads. So if you say I can perform the CMA for you for free, you just put in your information here and share this on Facebook or email or whatever that may be. This is just an idea to capture more leads.
And then when I do the link, I could just put it behind it, like the third way.
That's what I would recommend. Yeah, going to landing page and changing that last URL just to make it a little more customized.
Right, you change the entire last part of the URL.
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
yeah, change that whole thing. And then that whole URL you can share on
Okay.
social media or whatever that may be. And of course, you can, any URL that you have, you can always create a QR code from it at that site. So that is on the website class notes. As long as you have a URL, you can just put that into here and you can create as many QR codes as you'd like.
How did you create them? Just put the URL in.
Yep, just put in the URL in here and then clicking this download icon.
Okay, then you can choose, can you choose between those or you just use the standard?
I think the free version just gives you the standard.
Okay, that's probably where I get caught up in.
Yeah,
I see the color.
right. It is pretty, this one. But yeah, I think the free, you get that one, and then PNG is perfect for it. Yay, well, I'm so glad that's everything, I think, for today. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, good. Well, I'll always have to see you guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, if I see, I need to get the laptop. I need to get a laptop.
Now.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Really?
when I went to that, that's it, but I got it allowed.
Oh.
Because I didn't know
It ain't work so bad.
Right.
Well, I hope you have a great day. Okay, so knock some stuff out. So how you guys?
I think I will for that. That laptop, that laptop is together.
Yeah, I think that will fix it. And then it will be less like finishing on that.
What is the, what's the right email address here? What do you put it? This got, okay, okay, this is the C, V,
Yep.
T, T, okay.
Yeah, it's, I can spell out very quick. Scott Leroy Marketing, so it's SCOTTLEROY Marketing, MARKETING.com. It's just don't forget support.
Support, okay.
Get support.
So this one also you contact at,
Yes, contact that.
okay.
Yeah, their emails, but I mean, this will get you to their website.
This one is the, who's that the email?
Oh, they're both, this is our email and
Oh,
then this is.
the
Scott's.
website, okay. The one JuLeah.com design,
The adding pages.
no.
Oh.
The one you saw that, Julie,
JuLeah design.
what was that? Is it the same thing with this one?
No, that one's this one. So this is where the notes are.
Oh, okay.
And then this is our email contact at. So this is our website.
This is the website. What about this one?
This is an email to support at.
Oh,
Scott Leroy
this
Marketing.
is the email. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're totally good.
Okay.
It gets really confusing.
Very good.
If you like.
Yeah, I did. I actually went. You know, I was looking at my stuff. Yeah.
That's all right.
Very pleasant.
Well, at least you guys can see
understand what goes into the process.
I think it does, because like, there'll be agents that are like, oh, I saw this iframe widget or whatever, and I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. I'm like, "Oh, it's your website." And they
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought about, trying to figure out how to do a landing page where we could tie
So,
questions.
so if I want today's stuff, I will email you, you send to me.
Yeah, we can, yeah, because it will be recorded in like 2 days-ish. We get the recording back, so I'll send it right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No problem. To do some kind of a question at the end of that month, like you think that we send out,
Ooh.
and to get them to respond after, and then, maybe give them a bottle of what's the drink is made out of.
That's a good idea. That was a really good idea. No, that's like, I think this could really capture some. Well, I guess the thing is, though, you have most, if
I
you're
have-
sending an email. you
I
have
know.
it.
I know, it would just be a way to get people excited about.
Or on social media, we could do it on social media, all these
Yeah.
people that you have following you, you don't have their emails for that.
Well, that's true.
So we could post it like your link,
Yeah.
and then have that landing page be like one free thing. to get
Right.
them to put their info.
Yeah,
That way you can send them to somebody.
yeah.
I like this idea.
I know. Anything around drink
Yeah.
is fun.
Let's see,
So- I guess pretty busy this week.
Well, we go on our
Yeah.
family vacation on
Yeah.
Friday.
I know.
So I'm just having a vacation month.
Yeah,
It's pretty nice.
yeah, well, we'll kind of play it by ear on Thursday then, because if you guys are swamped.
Oh, we can definitely meet. We plan to meet.